All right, hey folks, we're going to do some artwork this morning for an Eberron adventure called Crystals of Mabar. You can see the book cover here on screen. Give me a second here to check my signal, make sure we're coming through. I've got a couple social media posts I got to crack out, and hopefully I can resolve my origin story for you while I do so. First check our signal story for you. Sounds like that's coming through, Peachy, and I'm going to drop down the volume here so it doesn't get in the way, and if you can hear my brusque voice this morning, it's an indication that I did not get good sleep last night, but we're gonna muscle our way through today anyway. Hey, my name's Phil Kearney. I've been creating role-playing games since 1987. I've been a freelance illustrator since 1999, an Eberron enthusiast since 2004, and creating content for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, publishing on the DMsGuild since 2018, and I've yet to actually create something for Eberron, my favorite setting, or create an adventure from like an original adventure to publish online. So we're resolving that with Crystals of Mabar. Crystals of Mabar is for 4 or 5 characters, level 7 to 8. And you're fighting undead, necromancers, and demons in the Carnwood and Karnath on the continent of Corvair. So that's... I feel like I can scooch that a smidge. The snitch has been snooched. All right, we're good there. Wait. The snitch has been snooched. All right, we're good there. Why did that change back? Oh, it's an issue of this being too large. Let's check that out again. I'm messing around with my windows over here. And I feel like I'm in a good place. All right, well, that's my origin story. That's what we got going on. We're making artwork for the book. I create, playtest, illustrate, and do page layouts for... I create, illustrate, and publish role-playing games. That's what I do. So let's see. I think I got my screen straight. If you think today's cool, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications of when we're live in the future. Here is the entire playlist of all 460 episodes. Here's a bunch of books I've already created on DMsGuild. They all have free previews. Check them out if you think they're cool. Consider making a purchase to support similar behavior in the future. This book cover was created back on episode 40. Let's kick that aside. I had a productive night last night, which is why I didn't get good sleep. We resolved the Scales of Donvi, the perfect order. I like how that turned out. I'm really proud of this, the Carillon of Dalcor, insanity through the banging of bells with these tentacle hammers that are controlled by this keyboard on this, well, it's called a Carillon. Let's see, we finished the Sextant of Furnia. I like how that turned out, I'm pleased. Furnia, the Sea of Fire. And the last item we have to do is the Crown of Zoriat. So let's get after it. We've got an eyeball situation going on here that needs resolving. Let's do that. And now we can take the rest of the line art and drop it down, which is the way. Then duplicate the group, merge the group. Race can go through the entire thing. We'll keep the eyeballs in place, but we'll drop them in. Yeah, we'll drop them in. So right now I'm just going to go through a bit of a cleanup. So we did it, my boys. We're finishing this page. We have a frame to do, but I'm not there yet. I typically do the page dressing last. What I mean, like the framework here, the navigation buttons. I typically do this last after we've gotten all the illustrations and figured out the background and stuff, so we can make the frame blend or work with the background of the page itself. So, and I don't want to set what that is until I have all the pages done, so I know how I want to have those things blend in. Like like any change in background color or anything like that. That may be warranted by the illustrations that we end up completing throughout this piece. So, baby steps. We'll get there. We're gonna get there. Apparently, I'm a little froggy this morning as well. Maybe that's adding to the sultriness. Sultry sickness. I've got a fever. They can only be cured by a clear throat. Hakuna Matata. You know what? I need some coffee. Let's bring this coffee into the void. Coffee fresh. Ice water chaser. Life in the void is good. Do I want to? Is this is the proper use of my time to be doing cleanup like this? Something is telling me no. You know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to finish this. Finish what I started, and then I'm going to focus on the eyeballs first, so we can bond the stray Zoriat symbols, the pupils, into the eye sockets or into the actual eyeball. And then we'll work our way through the tentacles. So I am whinging on these tentacles a little bit. That's true. I am doing needed cleanup, but I'm also going to be doing a whole paint over. So, like, how valuable is this cleanup time that I'm investing? You know. Hey, Steve, it's good to see you. How you doing? Yeah, whether or not I finish this this crown on today's session, it is the last piece on the page. So if I am unable to get it finished today during stream this morning, I will finish it over the weekend. And we're going to come back with a different page on Monday. And yeah, hopefully this proves to have been the most complex, detailed page in the book. If that remains accurate, then we'll be able to. The rest of the book will be easier to resolve. I try to do the most difficult pieces first, so that the hill becomes a lower grade as I get more and more fatigued with the project, because there is emotional fatigue, which is why I work on other projects on Mondays and Thursday nights like last night, and Tuesday and Friday lunchtimes like today. If I don't break up the creative energy into different projects, then I will burn out on a particular project. I feel like I'm out of frame today. There we go. So it's important. It makes each individual book take a little bit longer to complete, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm still producing. Oh God, I've got like 5 books that we're working on right now, so I've got no shortage. I can just switch gears between what I want to work on at the moment, and I like that. I like that mobility. So let's drop the strength on this down a little bit and build out these eyeballs. I'm sorry about the hakanakanakas. I do not know where that came from. I feel like whatever lump was in my throat is resolving. Man, the pixels are flowing today. I tell you what. My computer did a system update last night, and for some reason, I feel like the pixels on this brush are flowing just a lot more smoothly than yesterday or the day before. I don't know why a system restart would change that, but perhaps it's a false association, but who cares? Stick to the curve. So for those that are new to the channel, welcome to the mix, y'all. I stream 9 times per week. I don't make a lot of actual like produced videos. Very rarely will I do that. For the most part, I am streaming book design, the artwork that goes in with the design, a little bit of page layout when necessary. And talk about whatever RPG stuff we talk about along the way. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. So I can... I'm going to shy away from actually burning that in yet, though. Let's, how about there? Run later, Kearney. This will work. There you go, buddy. All right, there's no pupil that's visible on this eye. It's facing away. So we just got to get the curve right. We can move on. We're doing the eyeballs first, and then we're going to do the, and then we'll work our way down the eye stalks to the crown. Sticking with this theme of resolving the most complicated part first, and then easing into simplicity. Hey, Timely Timer, keep the 20 minutes flowing. My alarm goes off every 20 minutes to make sure I'm not whinging on any particular details that are a waste of time. It's just a way to help just police myself and to keep my head on the game. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop whatever I'm whinging on. It's just an opportunity for me to check my shit, you know? Is this the appropriate amount of whinge? As a twat. God, I almost feel like I want to make one of these things perfectly round and just cut and paste it onto other eye stalk locations. But that doesn't feel right. I'm liking the organic process. Yeah, I am tired. I'm not manically talking about anything in particular right now. Normally if I get good sleep, I just have a fever pitch conversation about whatever the hell is going to come screaming out of my head for the day, but it is not present right now. I am observing this inconsistency, but it is consistent with one truth, which is I don't get at least 6 hours of sleep. I tend to shut down conversation, and I didn't get 6 hours of sleep last night because I finished both the Sexton Infernia and the Carillon of Dalcor. So, knowing that there was a risk of lower engagement this morning, I decided to take on that gamble and make the progress that I needed to get this thing done the way that I said I would, even if it means it sacrifices some interesting conversation points during this morning's stream. I was willing to risk that. And now I'm just yammering about not yammering. How about that for meta content, huh? Gonna break that up a little bit. That's why I shouldn't have bound that pupil illustration to the eyeball because I want to come through here with the cloud texture brush to soften all this globy goodness. That's not bad though. That's not bad for now. Here's my eyeball. I got a chicken taco from AMPM, which is a convenience store gas station combo here in America. It says chicken taco on the package. When you open it up, it's literally just a bunch of white meat. That's a bunch of shredded, cooked white chicken meat on soft taco shells. It was the least inspiring convenience store food I think I've ever purchased. It's worse than accidentally purchasing a bottle of kombucha. Dry ass white chicken shredded on a plain soft taco. There's 2 of them per package. Like, what the fuck is going on? Well, if they had a salsa bar, I missed it. So. Okay, sorcerer. All right, let's keep this up. We're gonna go here. Just melt that into place. And we'll get the cushion resolved separately. Coupling, the mounting, eye mounting, I don't know what the proper noun is for this skin that's wrapping around the eyeball from the stalk. There's got to be some sort of there's got to, I guess, antenna, eye stalk. I guess that's what it is. But like the coupling, where the stalk is holding the eye socket or the eyeball. I feel like that has a term, like a technical eyeball term that some crab doctor knows. Crab Doctor. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. There. There we go. That looks pretty good. I like that. There we go. That looks pretty good. I like that. Let's thin it out a little bit. Very good. All right, those are good. I don't want to bind those down yet. I'm still working through the whole bit. So let's increase the strength of our smudge brush and keep working this line art into the structure. We're working on the eye stalks now. The eyeballs are good enough for the moment. More than anything, we're just kind of blending the line art into the color work. So you have a consistency. Little lumps and folds and details and stuff that we can work into the piece. Don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Let's just stay focused on blending in the line art, and we can start working on the texture inside of that space once it's resolved. One bits at a time, buddy. Just break the project down into chunks and you can conquer it over time. The smaller chunks you can break the project down into, the more victories you rack up in the piece, the more little dopamine kicks you get. Keep that chemical flowing, keep the juice up, keep it fun for everyone. Keeping it fun. See, I have to have a really strong pull on the smudge brush to be able to blend the line art in so easily, but it drags everything around it as well. So it can break curves and spaces that I don't intend it to. So I have to try to pay attention and make sure that the blending is limited as I go smudging into space. But this area along here, I just want to be delicate about how I smudge the line art into the structure. Form would be miraculous, or into the form of the eye stalk. I like this. I like these little variants going on here. That's a fun little smudge discovery right there. But I like how it's looking so far, so just keep on keeping on. Nothing going wrong here. All looks right on point to me. I am not used to this smudge tool being so reactive. It's good. I need to curve this in. Bit. Yeah, that looks good. So obviously we're working on resolving, mostly just we're going around the perimeter to resolve the line art that's poking out from the mass of the shape, the form. And we can use separate layers to paint over to make them more perfectly. So far, so good. You know, I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to. Oh boy, the melt. Let's see if I can cloud brush this in. You know what? I'm gonna first off just remove the mistake. How about that? Instead of masking the mistake, just undo the mistake. That's what the Z button's for there, Gunny. Yeah. You can just undo stuff if you don't like it. Photoshop's amazing. Let's switch back to our other brush. Good. Get back into it. I'll eventually get back to that. Actually, get back to, oops, it looks like I've decided to dive into the interior space for a few moments. Thank you, Timely Timer. What do we got? 40 minutes left? Yeah. Light rain here in Seattle this morning. God bless the spring. Light rain here in Seattle this morning. God bless the spring. Smooth that out a touch. That feels good. Just keep around with this curve here like that. Yeah, it's blending everything together. We're going to end up going over this again with texture and highlights and stuff. I don't know, do I want to do that stuff on stream on Monday? I don't think I'm going to get this done in 40 minutes. We're still working on just baseline color line art integration. We're not even really working on texture at all right now, so there's no way I'm going to get this done in 40 minutes. I mean, I can knock out as much of it as possible, but I'm not going to be like, this page is done, we can move on to the next one forever. That's not going to happen in the next 40 minutes. I need at least an hour and a half to finish this. Something happened. I don't know what just happened, but something just dropped in. There's an added layer of something happening inside of me right now. I can feel it's working its way through my nervous system. There's a new presence, a new energy. I don't know what it is yet. let's lock up that. There we go. That card looks pretty good. Man, I tell you what, chess. I cannot. I play chess on chess.com, and I am caught in ELO hell. I cannot crawl out of the 700s. I've gotten out of the 700s twice, but I've fallen back into them, and it just there is a line of definition at the 700 to 1000 range in chess ELO. I know that chess.com rating isn't the same as ELO because it's not recognized by international judges, but it's a fairly accurate translation of what your ELO would be in a global audience. But I digress. That is to say that we're calling it ELO and rating interchangeably, but the I'm at well, I started at 400. We all start at 400, and you have to climb your way out. So you have just like any other online competitive situation, you have to earn your rank on the ladder against the other people that are of comparable skill that are also climbing. And there is just like, by the time you get to 700, your opponents know basic tactics, how the pieces move, things like skewers and pins and stuff like that. But the transition between 700 and 800 is like where you learn all your dirty tricks, like fast kills, like eight move wins and stuff like that. And I don't know all of them, so I've gotten schnooked by a couple of them. Hopefully not more than a couple times. Some of them I've definitely fallen for more than once because I forget what the proper response is. Like some of these things have like one response, otherwise you're fucked. So you have to keep an eye out for those things that can happen and have countermeasures still in place to prevent them from completely fucking your game. And that's just like, it's nasty. You don't know how many of these nasty tricks there are, and you don't know how easily it is that you're going to spot them before they completely get you. And then you have no idea when they're going to crop up again, so you have to keep them in queue as like a potential strategy that you need to keep an eye out for and build your setup accordingly. But it's torturous pain, man. Figuring all that shit out, it's obnoxious. But you have to these tricks and stupid shit and gotchas. You have to get through all the gotcha moves in the 700, 800, 900 block, so you can get out of them, so that you can get into a more stable form of chess. Whereas like we know where all the tricks and the traps are, and you don't fall for them anymore. So although you can set one up, you don't expect them to work. If anything, you use these like gotcha moves as distractions for what your strategy actually is. But that's a level above where I'm at right now. I'm only at 750. But it's an interesting process. In college, when I first started getting into chess, well, I learned how to play chess like when I was 7, and played a little bit with my sister. But I didn't really start enjoying chess until I got into college and realized it was a very inexpensive hobby. But I didn't study it. It wasn't regiment. It wasn't trying to achieve. It was just moving pieces around, flirting with chicks, whatever. It was fun. I didn't take it seriously at all. But this time around, it's I just want to get good at the craft. I would say developing chess skills definitely develops life skills. Because you have to have a plan. You have to be aware of mistakes that can be made. You have to be self-aware, self-diagnostic. Chess is an amazing game because if you lose, it's your fault. You can't blame anyone else. I mean, cheaters aside, but that's an online thing. That's not an over-the-board sort of thing. It's like if you're playing chess online, it's convenient, but it's also convenient for cheaters. So you have to take that. So to a certain extent, it's your fault if you lose, but if somebody's cheating and breaking the rules, you can't take. If you lose, you can't take it personally, which is another wonderful life skill. Losses and failure is not personal. It's you're becoming part of a process of discovery of what actually works. And the faster you can find all the failures and the tricks and the traps and the bullshit, the faster you find those things, the sooner you can resolve them and move past them to actually become good. It's the emotional trauma of getting wrecked by stupid gotcha moves that is a screen process that gets rid of people that aren't willing to endure bullshit to achieve higher ranks of skill. It's a really natural screening. Yeah, like I said, screening process. Like if you don't have the emotional endurance to deal with bullshit gotcha moves, if those things trigger you and make you throw the board, then you might not have the emotional aptitude to actually get really good at such a humbling game as chess. Like I said, if you mess something up, it's your fault for not knowing that you were falling into a mistake, not knowing how to recover from it, not knowing how to integrate it into, like, to change bad into good. Like, if you don't know how to do any of that stuff, you will lose, and you're going to get caught in a space inside the game where that is your challenge. You are going to face that crap over and over again until you can find a way to make peace with it, and then through that, in discovery and patience and experience, to be able to fish your way out of it. That's why, like, if you've never lost at chess, then you've never really learned chess. If you've never played people that are better than you, and you never tested, and no one's ever tested your strategy, if you're just playing a bunch of plebes, and you get your victories, and you're not challenging anyone that's better than you, you're like, chess is the one game that you absolutely do not want to never get beaten. You can't be playing enough. You can't be playing enough if you've never been beaten. It's just impossible. You can get to a point where you're nearly unbeatable, but the amount of losses that you have to incur to gain that level of status is legendary. And you can't muscle your way through it either. You're like in a losing streak. You can't just like bully your way through the losing streak, because you'll keep losing. Your streak will extend. Granted, your elo will drop to a point where you've returned, like your state of rage has a minimum. Like when I get triggered but refuse to stop playing, I'll drop from 780 down to 720. And at that point, like 720 and below, Unless you are a rising star and you're just like transitioning from the 700s into the 1500s, chances are I'm going to beat you at that level. So if you ever get rageful, you're and unmindful and triggery, you can drop your score to the point where you're fighting people that you're better than, and you'll just naturally recover by continuing to play. But now you're placating yourself. You've driven yourself through rage. You've dropped your rating so low that you're now fighting against people that you are superior. Your skill set is superior to theirs, so you can climb back up to where you were before. But if you start raging and having and start playing while triggered, you're going to drop back down to the point where even in your triggered state, you're stronger than, you know, the 600s or the low 700s that you're facing. It's just, it's fascinating. It's fascinating how self-correcting the system is. It's impressive. It is impressive. And again, you have to, it's all personal accountability. You have to learn to regulate your own emotions. You have to be able to see through the losses and learn the lessons and strategize against it and study. Learn when something that you're trying to do is too complicated for what you want to do, to humble yourself to do something simpler. To acknowledge when you didn't calculate, like when you didn't think things through and you end up down a piece that you didn't expect to be down, or they catch you from an angle that you didn't expect them to because their agenda was completely on a different page from yours. So while you're trying to do your own thing, they're just maneuvering pieces around and checkmating you. And like out of fucking nowhere, it's like, you're checkmated. Like, what the hell? Oh crap, I completely missed. Like, I can admit that I am a low enough skill in chess right now that when I'm looking at a chessboard, I'm not really looking more than 3 or 4 squares away from whatever piece I'm focusing on right now. So I miss the flanks. That is a severe problem, but it's also a known problem for people that are below an 800 or 900 ELO. Like, you can track the progress of where someone is at by the type of mistakes that they make. It's really impressive. So you don't have to feel bad about being where you're at. You could recognize that you're on the same path to climb the mountain as 1,000 billion people before you. Here comes the stumbling blocks. You should know what these are. It doesn't mean you know how to fix them, but you can see them coming. That's good. It's a very strict but forgiving system, you know? All you gotta do is what you're supposed to do and everything will be fine. Until you figure out what it is that you're supposed to be doing, it's going to be really fucking rough. And I think that's just a great analogy about life. Because you can fight what you're supposed to be or fight where it is that you're coming from, but you're still going to end up being that person. The only difference is that it was hell for you to get there as opposed to a joy and privilege. Big difference. It's all about perspective. Is this an opportunity for me to become whomever it is that I'm supposed to become, regardless of who I want to become? Or am I going to try to hold the frame of who I think I am and hate every instance of my life because nothing is lining up with what I want it to be? Who's going to bend, life or you? And the answer is always you are going to bend, because you can get killed. You can't kill life. It just doesn't work. That's like saying you can cure death. It's not going to happen. Everything has to fade. Everything has to change. You can't hold state forever. So that's what I'm learning from chess. And I would probably have a higher score if I didn't often hold play chess when I'm supposed to be going to sleep. Because I don't really make time during my day or in my evening for chess. I just squeeze it in, like when I'm in commute on bus rides, or when I've got 5-10 minutes, I'm hanging. If I sat down and had a dedicated session of playing chess, I'd probably ascend quicker. But anytime I can budget to actually sit down and do something, I pretty much have that dedicated to this. I can only sustain so many hobbies, and I can't sustain them all at the same level of depth. I run games in D&D. I build games for D&D. That's a hobby inside of a hobby, and that already eats most of my time. Aside from the day job and family, friends. I'm booked. I'm booked and cooked. How are we looking? It is 7:30. Yeah, 8 seconds left. Okay, I don't need to hear the timer go off to reset it. Last 20-minute burst is go. Last 20-minute burst is go. See, I'm still integrating line art. I haven't even really gotten to the texturing. There's no way. I'm not done in 20 minutes. That's not going to happen. I love this type of work. This is so much fun for me. Let's get back to the smudge tool there, Kearney. Thank you. See, right now I'm just blending in the line art into the color, so it looks less comic booky, more painted. Scoozy. Coming along. I wonder if beholders with so many eye stalks, I wonder if they like see each other's eye stalks, or if their brain kind of ignores the border between both. Like we have our binocular vision, right? We can see our perspective shift when we open and close one eye. When we look at them both together, it blends together. I wonder if all of the different eyes pointing in different directions for beholder, if it all just blends into one like curved linear mosaic space, or if it actually sees the actual eyeballs, like part of other eyeballs that are here in proximity to it. Or if it just like blends those out and like masks them over. You know? I wonder. This stuff is fun. I love doing this. I'm really enjoying the lighting and the texture and the blend of the line art with the color on these particular pieces. This feels good. There's a meatiness to this. It's like a gritty painterly feel to it that I just adore. No. There we go. Good. Just blend, blend, blend. Blend it all in. Blend, blend, blend. Forever blending. You can see like there's fun little veins and little blurble effects that we can do throughout this thing. It's here. It's just not the focus at the moment. I want to finish the general blending of line art into the color first to get the form, and then we can start overlaying particular ideas about texture and blah blah blah. The general blending of line art into the color first to get the form, and then we can start overlaying particular ideas about texture and I suspect I'm going to end up cutting this tentacle out as a separate layer, so I can keep the gradient inside the concave of the helm of the crown accurate. while still being able to do all the lighting effects and texturing for these tentacles that I like to do. Almost there. And by there, of course, I mean finishing the first pass. And by there, of course, I mean finishing the first pass. So I've got the Mega Dungeon Martial Powers play test tomorrow on my Discord server in the morning. I've got Curse of Strahd in the afternoon. So I've got a 4-hour window of time between games I'm playing. I run and then play. And I'm thinking, well, I mean, all I have this is like the project TM that I'm working on right now. So I'll have a 4-hour block of time for me to start carving out pages or like breaking up maps or something like that to help fill in the rest of the pages. But I'll be working on the next page in production on Monday. I will for sure get. I'll finish up this illustration probably while I'm playing Curse of Strahd on Saturday. And if not, then certainly Monday night. But I'm going to use my production time between games from 1 till 5 o'clock. I can use that for doing prep work for additional pages here that will be streaming Monday Plus. Knock out the rest of this texturing during Curse of Strahd, and if I can't complete it, then I'll have Sunday night before my week begins again. I do my typical Sunday night stuff of painting until I'm too tired to keep painting. I go to sleep. We got 5 minutes left. coffee pot sighing at me. It's like no one's drank enough coffee for me today. My coffee pot gets depressed if it isn't used enough. It's funny. Coffee pot sighing at me. It's like no one's drank enough coffee for me today. My coffee pot gets depressed if it isn't used enough. It's funny. Like that. Like that. So close to done with this first part. So close. There we go. Nope. There. Like that. That's my timer. Thank you. Thank you. All right, this is looking a lot better. This is a really fine place to be. Man, I would love to have the victory of actually like being finished with this on screen, but I think for the overall success of the project as a whole, it's unnecessary for me to delay start another page, for me to whinge on this another day on Monday. So I will finish this over the weekend. I'll show you the final piece, but we're gonna work on a completely different page on Monday. And with God's grace, we won't have to spend more than a couple of days on any particular page moving forward. This one was like 2 months that we spent on this page. It was fucking ridiculous. When we did this whole piece, and that was a hell of a piece to do. I'm really pleased with it. And all these artifacts. Still working on you, Crown of Zoriat. Looking right at you, buddy. But we're doing good. We're doing good. So we've got like 75 pages to go. But most of them don't have more than a corner illustration. Like there's like maybe like 4 more pieces that have anything larger than this. Like this is the typical size of an illustration, and I don't necessarily need to have this much detail in them. There's like maybe 6 or 7 more sizes like this throughout the book. There's not a lot of them. Most of the visual art space is going to be is allocated to maps and tokens of stuff that are in the locations of the maps depicted. So we'll get back into that here pretty shortly. But this was just an opportunity for us to just really lay in some cool artwork. This is the last page of the book. Not the last page to be produced, but it's like physically the last. Like after this is advertising. It's like this is the last actual page of the adventure. So I wanted to make sure there was some cool artwork in it, to remember me by. Man, that was exhausting. All right, I'm out of here. It's 7:57. It is time for me to be done for the day. If you think artwork's cool like this, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. I'll be back later on today. I anticipate like around 2. I think around 2 o'clock is probably a good starting point for me. Probably for about an hour for lunchtime design. We're continuing to work on the Forsaken Oaths of Paladins. That were in printed material for 2014 that did not make the transition into 2024. So we'll be resolving those. We've already resolved the 2024 Paladin subclasses from Tuesday. So we'll continue working on that today. We'll probably get done with another 2 or 3 of them. And then to finish up the rest of them on Tuesday next week. I'll be back tomorrow morning this is Friday. That's right. Yeah. So I'll be back Monday morning to work on the new page. We'll be back Monday night. I don't know what we're doing Monday night. The Bastion campaign is kind of like at a stopping point right now. I guess it just needs some more testing. I mean, I've been testing the system and it works. But the specifics on this, I think we need to do some theory crafting of different types of bastions and organizations and stuff like that. Maybe start translating like Waterdeep and the Harpers and stuff like that into these bastion concepts to demonstrate how they can process. But I digress. That's it for today, guys. I will see you all in 6 hours. See you then. Thanks a lot.